ओम सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं पुराण न्याय मीमांसा धर्मशास्त्रांग मिश्रिताः वेदाः स्थानानि विद्यानां धर्मस्य च चतुर्दश आयुर्वेदो धनुर्वेदो गान्धर्वश्चैव ते त्रयः अर्थशास्त्रं चतुर्थन्तु विद्याः अष्टादशैव ताः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Namaste. I welcome everyone who's watching this video. This video is third in a series of talks with the eminent and well-known Mahamahopadhyay, Professor Korada Subrahmanyam Garu. The first talk was titled Shiksha, Shabdotpatti and Ucharanam. The second in the series was Kalpaha, Shrauta Sutram and Grihya Sutram. The third one, this one, is titled Nyāyavaiśeṣike, Parārthānumānam. In English, Syllogism. With this introduction, I welcome Professor Subrahmanyam to take it forward further.
Any scholar of Sanskrit is supposed to have the knowledge of Pada-Vakya Pramana Shastras. Pada Shastram is Vyakaranam, Vakya Shastram is Mimamsa, and Pramana Shastram is the combination of Nyāyadarshanam and Vaiseshika Darshanam. It is called Nyāyavaiśeṣike. This Nyāyavaiśeṣike, this combination is called Pramana Shastram because Pramanas are chiefly discussed in these Shastras. In each one of Pada-Vakya Pramana Shastras, all the items such as Varnaha, Padam, Vakyam, Mahavakyam, and Pramanas, and all these things are discussed. But whichever aspect is prominently discussed by a particular Shastra, okay, that is taken up to denote that this is Pramana Shastram, that is Vakya Shastram, that is Pada Shastram, like that. It means that should not be taken as if the other aspects of the language are not touched by each one of these Shastras. That is the actual basis. For all the systems of Indian philosophy, for each one, we have the origin in Vedas. So here in the case of Pramana Shastra, that is Nyāyavaiśeṣike, we have mention of Pramanas in Krishna Yajurveda called Taittiriya. There it is the first Prashna called Arunam. There it is clearly stated, Smritih Pratyakshamaidihyam Anumanaschatushtayam Etayiraditya Mandalam Sarvaireva Vidha Asyate. This is these are the mantras where the term Pramanam has got some references. Smritihi Pratyaksham Anumanam. Pratyaksham Aitihyam. Aitihyam is Itihasa, that is Ramayana, Bharata, Puranas, etc. And Anumana is the other Pramanas. So four Pramanas are taken here. Actually, although the order is put as Nyaya and Vaiseshika, Vaiseshika is older than Nyaya Darshanam. Vaiseshika Sutras were authored by Kanada Maharshi, and there in that Darshanam, a guna called Vishesha that is there in Atma and Panchabhutas is specially taken up. So it is named after that Vishesha. So Vaiseshika Darshanam, it has come like that. So this Nyaya, the term Nyaya is given by Panini as a Nipada. Adhyaya Nyayo Dhyavasamharascha Gai Pratyayanta is Nipatita, not Pratyaya. It is coming. So in that place, Ghai Prachayanta is Nipatita. Nyāyaha means Pramanaihi Parikshanam Nyāyaha. Taking up the Pramanas and verifying a particular thing, whether it is correct or not, and so on. That is, this process is called Nyaya. So at the end, we are going to conclude. It is Nyayaha means Nyaya Mahavakyam, Parārthānumānam Panchavayava Visishtam Mahavakyameva Nyāyashabdena Uchyate. But we are going to discuss. Most of the people may not be knowing that the Nyaya refers to Nyaya Mahavakyam. What is Mahavakyam? What is this? We are going to study thoroughly within this talk only. Now, this purpose of the very darshanam, both the Nyaya or Vaiseshika, is stated to be dharma. And through dharma, one would achieve the final goal of any human being, that is moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha are four goals of a human being. And if one wants to achieve moksha, he should follow dharma. Even artha, that is associated with dharma only. Even kama, that is associated with dharma only, is acceptable. So finally, here what he says is, since there are certain things, dravyani, etc. So if one understands the nomenon of these things which are enumerated in Nyāyavaiśeṣike, we are not going into details because of time constraint. So when if one knows the tattva of the padarthas, then he will get dharma. And through dharma, one would achieve, they call it nishrayasam. Nishrayasam is nothing but moksha only. So here, a couple of things we have to discuss, which are there across Nyaya and Vaiseshika. One thing is, there is one thing called Satkaryavada, and there is opposite Asatkaryavada. What is this Satkaryavada? Satkaryavada, which is embraced by Panini, Vedanta, Sankhya, and so on. There is one thing, for example, there is a seed, then there will be a vraksha, a tree. So earlier also the tree was in the form of seed in Sukshma Rupa, in minute form, something like that. So without Karanam, there cannot be Karyam. So it is called Sat Karyavada. Sat is there, then only something. Sat means the thing that does exist. Okay, for example, Brahman is called Sat. Sat Chit Ananda, Sachidananda, like that. So Sat Karyavada means before Karya, the Karanam is already there in minute form. That is called Satkaryavada. For example, Brahman is the cause of the entire universe, something like that. Whereas the Nyaya and Vaiseshika people follow Asatkaryavada. That means Asadeva Sadutpadyate. Earlier, since there were no gunas and there was no kriya, we have to accept that something was not there, but Sat has come like that. So it is called Asatkaryavada. Anyway, this is not very much accepted by many people because Shankaracharya questions how something just comes out of nothing. No, it is not acceptable. Clearly. So that is Asatkaryavada of Nyayikanam and Vaiseshikanam. That is one thing. Then the other thing is the Nyāyadarshanam Sutras are authored by Akshapada and Bhashyam by Vatsyayana. Akshapada gives a sutram in second Adhyaya, second pada, that is Jatyaprati Vyaktayist Padartha. This is where in all darshanas, even Vyakarana and Mimamsa also. So he says, when you pronounce a Shabda, for example, Gau, then what will be the meaning a person will get? That is Gotva Jati only. What is Jati? Jati is a phenomenon that separates one thing from the rest of the things in the universe. For example, Gotva is a Jati, sometimes it is also called Guna, that is in Vyakarana. So is a Jati, Gotvam, It separates a cow from the rest of the things in the universe. For example, a Stree will have Stretvam, Purusha will have Purushatvam, Vriksha Vrikshatvam, like that. Jati is not acceptable to Vedantins and Buddhas, and that is a different story. So, Jati is the first meaning. When you see or show Jati, no. The thing is available only as associated with the Dravyam. Dravyam means thing, Vyakti. For example, if you say, fetch a cow, a cow individual is to be fetched, brought. Okay, so, but Jati and Dravyam both are inseparable. They are Nantariyaka. So, Jati Visishta Vyakti or Vyakti Visishta Jati is the Parārtha, meaning of a word, Shabda. That is there. What about Akriti? Akriti was earlier there. Actually, in Mahabhashyam also Akriti is there. Here for Akriti, the example given in Nyāyavaiśeṣike Vyakhyanas is that Pishtakamayi Gauhu, a cow made of rice powder, something like that. Nowadays, you can say a cow made of some wood or plastic, something like that. Akriti and Akara, that is the form, both are the same. But later, what happened? Jati meva akritim prahu yaktira kriyate yaya. This is said in Akrityadikaranam by Kumarila Bhatta in Shlakavartikam. So later, people started using Jati only, even for Akriti. That means there are only two meanings, Jati and Vyakti. Sometimes do not kill a cow, for example, Gaurna Hantavya. There, a cow means all cows, every cow. That means the class, the Jati has to be taken as the Pradhanartha, chief meaning. But since Jati cannot be seen or shown, it requires a resort, an ashraya, we have to take up Vyakti also. If at all one wants to see Jati, then he has to approach a go Vyakti, a cow individual, this a tangible thing, and find, oh, there is Gota Jati in this. So Jati, Guna, and Kriya, these three have got, even Saumya, these four have got Vyakti or Dravyam as their resort. That means they cannot be seen or shown. So, fetch a cow in this sentence, Gam Anaya in Sanskritam. There, these are universals. In all languages, these are applicable, very important. There, the meaning is fetch a cow individual, not all the cows. Whether it is possible or impossible, that's a different question. So here what happens? A Vyakti. So in sometimes depending on the context, Jati will be the meaning, that is main meaning, and the Vyakti is subordinate. Whereas sometimes fetch the cow, etc. In such examples, Vyakti is important and Jati is unimportant. But both will be there due to Nantariyakatva. That means one cannot be separated from the other. So the contribution of it's a Nyāyadarshanam or even Vaiseshika is that Jati and Vyakti are the meanings of a Padartha. Depending on the context, one has to take either Jati or Vyakti as the important meaning and the other one as unimportant. That does not mean that it is not there, it is very much there. But which is important, which is unimportant is the question. So this is about Jati and Vyakti. Jati also has got its origin in Vedas, because Tvaprachaya or Talprachaya, Gotvam or Gota. Tadrishina Amrishitvam, Vedas says. So Rishitvam is the Jati in a Rishi, says Veda. So this Jati and Vyakti, these concepts are very important across not only darshanas, but across language, any language and literature. One has to take into consideration. So one thing is Satkaryavada, Asatkāryavada. Second thing is Jati and Vyakti. And the third thing is what they call Pramanas. Pramanas are very important means of knowledge. Pramana means roughly we can translate. Means if you want to decide that something is so and so, to decide, there are two pramanas accepted by Vaiseshikas, Pratyaksha and Anumana. Etena Shabdam Yakhyatam. It is a sutram from Vaiseshika. So Shabda Pramana is put under Anumana Pramana by Vaiseshikas. Whereas Kshapada in Nyāyavaiśeṣikam gives four pramanas. Pratyakshanumana, Upamana, Shabda, Pramanavadi. Let us see what is this, what these pramanas mean. Here, first one is Pratyaksham. Pratyaksham, here Prati Aksha. Here the word she means any indriya. That means any sense organ. It can be eyes, it can be nose, it can be ears, and so on. So when indriyartha sannikarshajinyam jnanam pratyaksham. But don't forget, here mind plays an important role. There is indriya, eyes are there. There is a cow. The eyes are looking at the cow. Immediately, this knowledge is transmitted to mind. Mind is very important. Without mind, manas, the knowledge of pratyaksha pramanam cannot be achieved. One cannot get it. So, manas is there. Manas is also considered as the 11th indriyam, panchakarmendriyani, panchajnanendriyani, manaha, like that. So, its presence is very much needed. Without that, no jnanam is possible to achieve. So, here, the indriyam, here, generally we take eyes, netrendriyam. So, netrendriyam got a connection with the cow, and immediately the jnanam reaches the mind, and then it happens in a fraction of a second, very fast. So, the person says, yes, I have seen a cow. So, if there is direct contact between the indriya, sense organs, and the thing in question, when the person gets the knowledge, jnanam, cognition in the mind, immediately he says, he saw a cow, he heard a shabda, he touched something, he tasted something, like that. He smelled something. 5 indriyas. So this is called pratyaksha pramana. And if there is any problem with the person, suppose he is ill, or his mind is not present there, when in Shakuntalam, Durvasaha, he arrived at the scene and requested Bhavati Bhikshandehi. Shakuntala, in Stambhavastha, she was in, that means she was very much present. This person, he repeated thrice, he said, Bhavati Bhikshandehi, within the earshot. That means she can hear these words. She heard, but did not react because her mind was not present. Manasaha asannidhyat, says Patanjali in Mahabhashyam. Shakatayana did not get the row of carts which were going on before his eyes. And when someone came and asked, have you seen a row of carts that was going on like that? No, I did not see, because his mind was not present. His eyes were present and the things were present. So Indriya Artha, although both of them are present, if the mind is not present, one cannot get that jnana. So this is about Pratyaksha Pramanam. Then the second one is Anumana Pramanam. Mostly, in most of the cases, this follows the Pratyaksha Pramanam. Because in certain cases, like Surya Gati, sun is moving, one cannot see the movement of sun, but it has to be inferred. Pratyaksham is called perception, Anumana Pramanam is called inference. So by looking at something, he will get some jnanam, pratyaksha jnanam. Later, when he applies the pratyaksha jnanam that is already experienced by him in another place, in another context, and he makes it understandable to others also, then this is called Anumana Pramanam. Manam means pratyaksha, Anu means following that. So following pratyaksha pramanam, whichever knowledge is achieved, jnanam, cognition is achieved, okay, that pramanam is called Anumana. So Anumitihi, Anuma, Anumanam, even Patanjali uses Anumanaha. Mostly the Anumanam only, Napunskalingam only is seen across the works of different systems of Indian philosophy. So now what happens? This following Pratyaksham Anumanam is taken, is generally accepted, except in certain cases like Surya Gati and so on. So here what happens? The general example for Anumanam is given as it is Mahanasa. Mahanasa means kitchen. In the kitchen, one watches the smoke emanating from fire, Vannehi Dhomaha, and at another place, for example, he was traveling through hills. On a hill, at a distance, there is smoke emanating in the hills. Earlier, he had had the experience, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, just like in the kitchen. So now he applies the same experience that is achieved through Pratyaksha Pramanam in the kitchen, in the hills also. One more thing, he also will have the experience, take an ayogola, tapta ayogola, hot iron ball or something like that. There is fire, but smoke is not emanating. That means wherever there is smoke, there certainly will be fire. Fire will be there certainly. Wherever there is fire, there need not necessarily be smoke. Sometimes it may be, sometimes it may not be. So in a hot iron ball, smoke is not emanating from that. So he arrives at the conclusion that wherever there is fire, there need not be necessarily smoke. But wherever there is smoke, there will certainly be fire. So the concomitance of the sahavasthana, okay, both the things are there at the same time and point, okay, makes him decide that wherever there is smoke, there is fire, just like in the kitchen. So here the hill is fiery, that means the hill has got Parvata Vanniman, it has got fire. How can you decide Hetu? Dhoma, Heto Panchami. Because there is Dhoma, there is smoke. That means since smoke is there in the hills, although I cannot perceive, cannot see, that means cannot decide through Pratyaksha Pramana, I will go by the experience I had in the kitchen. But wherever there is smoke, there is fire. And syllogism, syllogism will come later. Then he will apply the logic and thinks, decides rather that the hill is fiery. That means there is fire in the hills. This is called Linga Paramarsha. Lingam means Hetu. Paramarsha, if it is there or not, to see whether something is there or not. That is Sadhya. Sadhya is one here. Sadhya Vanniman Parvata is the Sadhya. So he, through Linga Paramarsha, he decides that there is fire in the hills. This is called Swarthanumānam. Swartha means Swasya Artha Swartha. For himself, he has got the cognition, okay, through not pratyaksha pramanam, but anumana pramanam. Here the thing is there. Okay, accepted. Then the existence of smoke, etc., in the hills is called pakshatharmata. I am not using the technical words because it will take a lot of time to explain each one. Now, the person wants to tell his experience to others. That means he wants to see that such an inferential knowledge is born in another person's mind. Same thing. Not through pratyaksha, but through anumana. So if it is for himself, you can say it is Swarthanumanam, for himself only. Doesn't matter much, no problem. But if the same kind of cognition is to be made, okay, to be born in the mind of another person, then he has to do something. That means he has to employ a group of sentences, okay, and the group of sentences would generate a cognition, inferential cognition in the mind of another person, and that is called Parārthānumānam. And the group of sentences, 5 sentences here, I shall explain, that is employed, the group of 5 sentences is called by the name Nyāya. Now, the number of sentences, how many sentences are to be employed for this syllogism? There is some difference of opinion among systemists. In Aristotelian syllogism also you will find only 3. Major premise, minor premise, and conclusion. Only 3 sentences. Whereas here, Buddhas say 2 avayavas will say. Avayava literally means limb. Just like our body is made up of a number of many limbs, this Nyāya Mahavakyam or Parārthānumānam Nyāya Mahavakyam is made up of 5 limbs. 5 avayavas they are called. That means, what is this Mahavakyam? Let us just explain, and then we will go to Parārthānumānam as it is. See, what happens is, we employ Shabda to transform meaning. Shabda is pregnant with meaning, loaded with meaning, thus, so it cannot be translated, untranslatable. Just like yoga, punyam, etc., one has to adapt the term, use the Shabda only. Although you put W in capital word, it doesn't denote all the meanings, okay, the Shabda has got. Therefore, better employ the term Shabda only for Shabda. Clarification can be offered in parentheses, in brackets, footnotes, or endnotes, and like that. And depending on the context also, one will understand the meaning of the term Shabda. So, Shabda is employed to transform some meaning. Arthagatyarthaha Shabdaha prayujyate. Artham pratyayishyamiti Shabdah prayujyate. Under Samartha Padavidhi 211 of Panini Mahabhashyam, Patanjali says these things. Okay, but which of the units that are denoted by Shabda, the term, is the actual unit of language, very unit of language is the question. The term Shabda has got not several but many meanings. Varnaha, Prakritihi, Pratyayaha, Padam, Vakyam, Avantara-vakyam, Mahavakyam, Parapashyanti Madhyama Vikhari, Shabda Pramanam, we are going to discuss, and Dhvani. These are some of the meanings of the term Shabda. So here, when you employ a Shabda to transform some meaning, you will employ a Varna or Prakriti or Pratyaya or Padam. No, you will employ a Vakyam. So Vakyam or sentence is the very unit of language. Take an example. Where are you coming from? Hostel. Hostel is not a word, not a padam, but it is an elliptical sentence, incomplete sentence. I am coming from are the ellipses. That means some words are not used because there is shared knowledge. So hostel as an answer is an elliptical sentence. Okay. So Shabda here is Vakyam. Vakyam is a group of words where you will have all the three prerequisites satisfied. This is also clearly discussed in Tarkasangraha. Akanksha, Yogyata, and Asakti, three prerequisites are there to decide as to whether a given group of words can be called a sentence or not. That is called, first one is called Akanksha. Akanksha means mutual expectancy. Suppose someone says, employs a noun, Chaitraha, then question follows. What Chaitra is doing? That means the Akanksha is for the Kriya verb. If someone says Pachati, the verb only, cooking, then the Akanksha will be for the noun who is cooking. So if one employs the sentence Chaitra Pachati, then the Akanksha from both sides is put to rest and a complete unitary sense is achieved. That is Chaitra Pachati. Chaitra is cooking. So Akanksha is the first prerequisite to decide as to whether a given group of words can be called a sentence or not. Then Yogyata. Yogyata means compatibility. Here what happens? Some sentences, some words form into a sentence, vakyam, but it may not have a meaning that is acceptable. For example, Chaitraha Vanhina Sinchati. Chaitra is watering with fire. Here, as far as grammar is concerned, Vyakaranam is concerned, Chaitraha Karta Vanhina Karanam Sinchati Kriya, okay, Karka Prakriya, it is okay. At syntactic level, the sentence is perfect, no doubt. But if you go to semantic, if you go on semantic front, is it acceptable? Can one water with fire? No, because fire does not possess the phenomenon, the guna, the dharma that is required for watering. Therefore, the sentence, although correct on syntactic front, it failed on semantic front. So, yogyata is what is lacking. Therefore, this sentence is not pramanam, is not to be taken as an authority. That is there. Then, akanksha, yogyata. The third one is called asakti or sannidhi. It means proximity. Proximity means nearness. See, when you are employing the words of a sentence, they should be pronounced in quick succession. For example, Chaitraha Pachati. One after the other, the words are employed. Therefore, there is no any switch as far as the comprehension of the meaning is concerned. Now, if one says Chaitraha in the morning and Pachati in the evening, one cannot get the meaning of the sentence. because there is too much of gap. So it lacks Sannidhi, or what you call Akanksha Sannidhi. Okay. So like that, Akanksha, Yogyata and Sannidhi, these three prerequisites are required to decide as to whether a group of words can be called a sentence or not. The origin for this kind of discussion is there in Vakya Shastram in Parārthānumānam, that is, second Adhyaya, it is specified. Jaimini Maharshi authored the sutras of Parārthānumānam. He says, Arthaikatvad ekam vakyam sakanksham vibhage syat. When you separate the words of a sentence, if each one of them is found to be wanting akanksha, then you can take that particular group of words as a single sentence, a sentence. Taikatvam. Artha means, Artha has got several meanings. Shabdartha, meaning. Artha means money. Artha means purpose, prayojan, like that. So here, if a single meaning is intended by the group of words, or if a single thing is proposed, then that particular group of words, if and only if they are found to be wanting, each one of them found to be wanting when separated, then that particular group of words is called a sentence. This is the meaning of the Jaimini Sutram, Vakya. So only Akanksha is mentioned because Yogyata, compatibility, and Sannidhi, proximity, need not be said. They are understood. So Jaimini did not mention them. But in Tarka Sangraha and many other works, Alankara Granthas also, these three are mentioned clearly as the prerequisites of a sentence. So now, if one wants to transform some meaning, he would employ a sentence, vakyam. Suppose the meaning is short, it is okay. I am going home. I will have my lunch on time, at 11, at 1 o'clock, something like that. It is okay. But when one wants to transform a larger meaning, suppose one wants to narrate his experience of his journey, or wants to describe an incident, some theft took place, some agitation is going on, then he cannot express the entire incident in a single sentence. No, he requires more than one sentence. It may be two, it may be four, it may be just like Ramayanam. Ramayanam is a Mahavakyam. Mahakavyam, Mahavakyam, both are one and the same. Mahabharatam, like that. So it depends upon the speaker's desire called Vivaksha, Vaktu Vichha Vivaksha. If a speaker wants to describe it, so wants to go on relating the story, then he will employ more than one sentence. It may be two, it may be 100, maybe 1,000. Depends on the need and context and the very desire of the speaker. Then that entire group of sentences is called a Mahavakyam. But how to decide a Mahavakyam? Again, Akanksha, Yogyata and Asakti, the three prerequisites are essential. They are required in deciding whether a given group of sentences can be called a Mahavakyam, roughly discourse, or not. So, but in a Vakyam, there is Padaika Vakyata, Ekavakyata, Ekartha Bodhakatvam, rendering a single meaning is there among words. Two words, one more word. Here in a Mahavakyam, the Avantara Vakyas are the sub-sentences, having formed into a group, would have the Akanksha, Yogyata and Asakti. A Vakyam is complete to render a unitary sense, Vakyartha, whereas a group of Avantara Vakyas is called a Mahavakyam, whereby you will get a unitary meaning of a Mahavakya or Mahavakyartha you will get. So the padas in a Vakyam, okay, are akin to the Avantara Vakyas of a Mahavakyam. So here it will be Padartha, there it will be Avantara Vakyartha. Group of padas with Akanksha, Yogyata and Asatti will become a Vakyam, whereas Avantara Vakyas with Akanksha, Yogyata and Asatti will become a Mahavakyam. That is the picture is clear. If the meaning is short, the Vakyam will be employed. If the meaning is larger one, then a Mahavakyam will be employed. This is the actual position. Then, but outside, what happens generally for hundreds of years or so, maybe thousands, people have got the understanding that if anybody employs a word called Mahavakyam, then they will understand as the Mahavakyas, especially 4 Mahavakyas of Vedanta, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma, Brahma, etc., which represent 4 Vedas, as Mahavakyas. In fact, the concept of Mahavakyam and the need is very much there in Vyakaranam, Mimamsa, of course, Vedanta, and all the Darshanas, and even Alankara Shastra. So in Alankara Shastra also, Vishwanatha actually defines a Mahavakyam, Vakyochayo Mahavakyam, like that, and we are not going into details right now. Okay. But in Vedanta, what happens? Tatotvam, as only 3 words are there. But the meaning, means this a sentence, a small sentence, can denote the purport or tatparyam of the entire chapter that is there in Chandogya Upanishad. That means it is loaded with meaning. Gauravam paraskritya tatra mahavakya samjna. Anyatra cha shabda gauravam paraskritya mahavakya samjna. Here there are more words, more sentences, avantara vakyas and so on. There are not so many words or so many sentences, only 3 words. But the meaning is profound, very large. Okay, so there, depending on the weight of artha, the load of artha, the name Mahavakyam is given, even if it is in fact a Vakyam, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma Brahma, etc. Let us come back to Nyāya Mahavakyam. Parārthānumāna janakam, Panchavayava Visishtam, having 5 Avantara Vakyas called, each one of them is called an Avayava, limb. Buddhas accepted only 2, but Jainas, some Nayayikas and Bhadrabahu, etc., they accepted 10 Avayavas. Okay. To make a Parārthānumānam, to generate a Parārthānumāna jnana in the mind of another person. So Swarthanumanam, Linga Paramarshya is there, Swarthanumanam is born, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, yatra yatra dhomaha, tatra tatra vanhi. While traveling, we have already discussed a person with a notice from a distance, oh, smoke emanating from hill, that means the hill is fiery, there is fire. Parvataha, Vanhiman, Dhoma, he decides. But when he wants to transfer this knowledge to another person, then he would employ 5 sentences. Those 5 sentences are actually given in both Nyāya and Vaiseshika. Pratigna hetu udaharana upanaya nigamanani avayavaha. That is the sutram by Kshapada in Nyāya Darshanam. Whereas in Vaiseshika Darshanam, Kanada did not give the Sutrakara, the author of Sutras did not give these Vayavayas, but in Prashastabhada Bhashyam, Prashastabhada gives slightly different terminology. He calls hetu by the name apadesha, pratignapadesha, and so on. So now, whether it is Vaisheshika Darshanam or Nyaya Darshanam, a Nyaya Mahavakyam or Parārthānumānam, that is Syllogism, will have 5 sentences. The first one is called Pratigna. Pratigna means Parvato Dhomavan. The hill is fiery. There is fire on the hill. Then you have to substantiate your claim by offering some hetu, reason. How did you come to know? Because this is not a pratyaksha pramanam. Then how did you come to know, decide that there is fire on the hill? Then a reason is offered, that is second avayava or second avantara vakyam called dhoma. Parvataha vanniman, pratigna vakyam. Dhomat is the hetu vakyam because due to dhoma. Oho. Then some udaharanam we have to offer, example. Because how can you decide that if there is such and such a thing, there will be such and such a thing. If there is smoke, there is fire. How can you decide? Then yatra yatra vanhi, tatra yatra dhomaha, tatra tatra vanhi, yatha mahanasaha. The example is given. Udaharanam, it is called udaharana vakyam, it is an avantra vakyam as a third avayava. Yatra yatra dhomaha, wherever there is smoke, tatra tatra vanhi. See, everywhere in that place there is fire. Yatha mahanasaha. Just like a kitchen. In kitchen, I have seen, that means he is quoting, he is giving an example, means he had earlier he experienced through pratyaksha pramanam. That is very essential, a strong point. So this udaharana vakyam would substantiate his claim that due to dhoma, the hill is fairy. Okay, so yatra yatra dhomaha tatra tatra vanhihi yatha mahanasaha is the udaharana vakyam. Okay, you have made pratigna, then offered hetu, then you also offered an udaharanam, pratigna, hetu, udaharana, upanaya, upasamipe nayaha, to bring. So now you have to bring the udaharanam near the pratigna. So for that, the fourth avayava or avantara vakyam is employed, tathachayam. Like that, this also. What does it mean? Here in the case of Parvata also, there is smoke. Therefore, I infer that there is fire. Okay, just like in Mahanasa, I already said. So, fourth one, the fourth avayava, that is called upanaya, is employed for this purpose, to bring the udaharanam near the pratigna vakyam. Okay, so that is upanaya, that is required. And then what happens? The fifth sentence, the fifth avayava, that is called nigamanam, nigamyante, nischiyante. Now you are deciding that there is fire on the hill. That you are going to decide. The decision also is to be clearly mentioned by a single sentence, that is called nigamana. Okay, that is the fifth sentence. Finish here. That is tasmat tatha is the nigamana vakyam. Therefore, it is like that. It is like that means, therefore, the parvata is vanniman pratigna. Therefore, my pratigna vakyam, that is the hill is fairy, is very much authoritative. So now what happens? Due to the 5 avayavas, that is the knowledge of the meaning of all the 5 avayavas, the person, okay, that is actually another person, not the same person who had this knowledge, but the another person will have the knowledge that the hill is fiery. There is fire on the hill. So now the speaker, okay, succeeded in generating the knowledge of inference, that is through these five avayavas, avantara vakyas, and now the Parārthānumāna jnanam is born in the mind of the listener. So like that, these five avayavas are avantara vakyas, which have got akanksha, yogyata, and asakti among themselves. Again, they have to satisfy that condition. Akanksha, yogyata, and asakti also. So therefore, this is called Nyāya, that is the group of 5 sentences, Parārthānumāna janaka panchavayava visishtam mahavakyam, is called Nyāya and useful in generating the inferential knowledge in the mind of another person. So there are difference of opinion among some systems. The Mīmānsaka said the first 3, Pratignya Hetu Udaharana, or last 3, Udaharana Upanaya Nigamana, or suffice they will do, only 3 avayavas will do to make a Parārthānumānam. That is what they opined. But here, according to Nyāyadarshanam and Vaiseshika Darshanam, the 5-membered syllogistic sentence is called Nyāya, and that is 5 sentences. 5 sentences are required very much. So this is Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana. Upamanam is just bringing similarity, simile. So one person wanted to see an animal called Gavaya. So Gavaya is not available in villages or towns, it is available only in the forest. So he asked, while entering a forest, he asked a forester how to identify a Gavaya animal. Then the forester said, okay, when you go into the forest, do you know a cow? Oh, yes, I know a cow. Achha, you will come across an animal which resembles a cow. Gauriva Gavayaha. So take it for granted that is a Gavaya Marga. So here, since the Upamana is given to understand, to decide the meaning of this something, that is called Upamana Pramanam, Gauriva Gavayaha. That is Upamana Pramana. Some people put the Upamana Pramana also under Anumana, that's a different thing. Now, the 4th one is Shabda Pramana. What is Shabda? Here, what Tarkasangraha etc. is Aptavakyam Shabda. Tastu Yathartha Vakta. The person who tells the truth is called Apta. So, a word or a statement of an Apta is to be taken as Pramana, and this is called Shabda Pramanam, generally. But Patanjali in Charkasutram says, Ragadivashadapi yaha nanyathavadi saha aptaha. This is quoted by Nagesh Bhatta in Laghu Manjusha. Although one has got love or hatred against someone, raga, dvesha, etc., if he tells the truth, he is to be called apta. That is the another definition given by Patanjali. Okay. Again here, see, the Nyāyadarshanam and Vaiseshika Darshanam both are taken as Astika Darshanas. Generally, Astika Darshanam means which accept the authority of Veda. And Nastika Darshanam are Jaina, Bauddha, Charvaka, and all that. They which do not accept the authority of Veda. So here Veda is accepted as a pramanam because Ito Nishesha Siddhi is a dharma, and dharma is achieved through Veda, so Veda can be taken as pramanam, Vaiseshikas and Nyayikas also. Because one thing is, Nyayikas say, Mantra Ayurveda Vachyata Pramanyam Apta Pramanyat. This is a sutram in second adhyaya of Nyāyavaiśeṣike. The only problem is, Mīmānsakas, Vaiyakarnas, Vedantins, etc. accept Veda as Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means not authored by human beings. They have emanated from Brahman. So, अस्य महतो भूतस्य निश्वसितं यद् ऋग्वेदः यजुर्वेदः सामवेदः अथर्ववेदः etc. is there in Upanishad. So from Brahman only directly they have evolved, I mean they have come out. Okay, so it is Apaurushaya, Veda is Apaurushaya. But here in this sutra, Nyayikas and even Vaiseshikas accept Vedas are authored by human beings. Mantra Ayurveda, then how can you take them as Pramanam? Mantra Ayurveda Vacha, mantra, which mantra? There is mantra for scorpion, mantras for these snakes. So Vrishchika mantra, Sarpa mantra, etc. are there in Atharva Veda. They are being taken as Pramanam, as authority by people. And Ayurveda is also taken, is authored by human beings, Charaka, Sushruta, etc. That is also taken as authority by people. Therefore, the Vedas, which are authored by human beings, can also be taken as authority. That is how this. That means they say Paurushaya. Veda is Paurushaya for Nyayikas and Vaiseshikas, whereas it is Apaurushaya for Mīmānsakas, Vaiyakarnas, Vedantins, and so on. That is the only difference. So Shabda is another Siddhanta, important Siddhanta is Shabda is Anitya for Nyayikas and Vaiseshikas, whereas Shabda is Nitya for Mīmānsakas, Vaiyakarnas, and Vedantins. The thing is, Nyayikas argue whichever is done, whichever is created through some activity is Anitya, is not going to be permanent. I mean, it is not immutable. So, Shabda is produced by humans or even otherwise. So, this Shabda is Kritrima, created through some activity or pronunciation, it has come out. So, it is Anitya, it goes on. It is Anitya. Shabda Anitya Karyatvat Ghatavat. Such kind of Anumana Pramanam basis. Whereas for others, even in practical, day-to-day practice, practical experience we have, so the Shabda is Nitya. When the Shabda is pronounced, it will be there in the air. No, it will not perish immediately. Otherwise, we cannot transact like this. We cannot run the classes, cannot speak on phone or TV or radio, whatever it is. That's why Panini says, Drushtam Sama, Rishis are called mantra drashtaraha. That means the mantras are already there. 1130 branches of Veda were there. Now only 12 or 13 branches, shakhas of Vedas are available. So the mantras are already there. So Vasishtham Sama, that does not mean that the Vasishtha was the author of Sama, that Sama. No. He performed tapas, and through tapas shakti, through yogi pratyaksham, he could hear the Sama, and then he propagated, okay, he spread this Sama across the universe. Therefore, the Sama is named after him, Vasishthan Sama. Like that, the other names also, Akhya Pravachanat, says Jaimini. And Parni also says, Tena Proktam, Tittirivartam to Khandiko Khachan, Taitriyam, Tittiri Maharshi. Like that. So these Maharshis are mantra drashtaraha. Here mantra drashta means all the Indriyas can perform all the duties according to an Upanishad. For Rishis, Aparoksha Darshane. That means they can hear the mantras which were earlier pronounced long ago, and now they will just propagate that mantra in the loka, and so that mantra is named after them. Vaipalada, Sarvaveda, Katha. So Kathakam, like that. But that does not mean that the rishis have actually authored those mantras. So mantra drashtarha, we have apaurishayatva for Veda that has to be accepted, and the Shabda is Nitya. If it is not Nitya, then how the rishis were in a position to just hear the mantras and just spread across the universe? Therefore, the Nyayikas have got certain, differences with other systems, not all, but in certain cases. So this is just all about, very briefly, very briefly about Asatkaryavada, Shabda Anityatva, Parārthānumānam pramanas. Other pramanas, other systems accepted more pramanas. Well, these Nastikas, Charvakas accepted Pratyaksha, Charvaka, holy Pratyaksha Pramana. The Charvakas to Pashorapi Pashuhu Charvakaha. This Vachaspati Mishra in Shankara Bhashyam, Bhashya Vyakhyanam, like that. So, this brief just account of Nyāyavaiśeṣike and Parārthānumānam. I close my talk. I am very much thankful to Indica Academy and to Harikarana Garu, to Srivan Nagak Kalyan Sundaram for giving me a chance to get whatever things I know how delivered. Shubham Bhuyat.
Very grateful to you for sharing so much of your expertise and experience, which has culminated in the form of the wisdom that this talk represents. Thank you so much, Mahuma Upadhyay, for sharing this with us as part of this new series of talks. I look forward to the next one with you very soon. Dhanyavad.
Aishman Shubham Bhuyat.